Kai here with Kaitaku, and I cannot wait to share with you my reading wrap up for the month of February. I have got my notes here ready to go, and we read a lot in February. So, February, I participated in 2 separate readathons, and that's on top of like what I normally read. So, for the month of February, I participated in Shay at Shay Geeks Out Manga Love Readathon. So I will put a link up here to my wrap up video for that readathon. And for that readathon, I ended up reading nine volumes of manga, which was a lot because the readathon was only, I believe, a weekend. I don't remember, but I do remember that we read a lot in a very short amount of time. So first I read Yona of the Dawn, Volume 1. And be on the lookout because I've now finished the first 3 volumes of Yona, so I want to do a first impressions video and give my feelings, especially considering how much I absolutely love the anime and comparing the anime and the manga together. So be on the lookout, that video is coming soon. And then I read the Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, Volume 1, which I really enjoyed this volume. This is another series that I've started that is actually pretty far along. I think it's about 13 to 16 volumes in already, and I know more volumes are being released this year. So this is another one that I'm thinking about doing maybe a vlog style as I read through them, because I am enjoying the premise of, there being the King of Beasts and then her coming in as his sacrifice, and then, him starting to, I guess, have feelings. And it's very Beauty and the Beast, but it doesn't scream as much Stockholm Syndrome as Beauty and the Beast does, because she actually wants to be there. So I think that I am kind of enjoying what kind of seems to be like a slim Beauty and the Beast retelling. Next, I read The Apothecary Diaries, Volume 1. This is a new fan favorite, okay? The Apothecary Diaries, I just read Volume 2 recently. Volume 3 and 4 come out later this year. The Apothecary Diaries has become a new fan favorite. This girl right here is absolutely hilarious to me because she is extremely smart. She's been kidnapped and sold into servitude at the king's palace. She's working in his harem wing. And she is just fed up with everyone. Like, she thinks pretty much everyone is stupid. She is she is making new friends among the other maids and things. But like every time something happens, she's like, how about people just listen to me and no one would die? So, and then this guy here is kind of our main dude who is floating around. He is in charge of kind of taking care of all the different concubines and making sure they're okay. And she thinks that he's absolutely horrible. He is used to everyone fawning around on him. And he basically thinks it's absolutely hilarious that she looks at him like he is a bug under her shoe. And I am enjoying their dynamic. I also ended up reading Happy Marriage, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. So Happy Marriage is a Maki and Joji work, and I absolutely love Maki and Joji. Maki and Joji is starting to become one of my favorite shoujo josei authors, and of course Happy Marriage is actually a josei. There's some smut that happens throughout this series, so we were on board. I think I actually ended up liking Happy Marriage more than I ended up liking An Incurable Case of Love. The jury is still out in between those. And then, of course, SP Baby is another Maki and Joji work, and it's only 2 volumes, and I thought that was adorable. But I think Happy Marriage may have a top spot for me in that. My only problem with it is like at 2 points in time, they're like some physical acts that I'm just like, was that necessary, Maki? Was it? But overall, thoroughly enjoyed the series, highly recommend it. I also read Volume 4 of Prince Freya. I am just absolutely loving this series. I'm absolutely loving Freya as she is coming into her own person. I'm absolutely loving her getting this confidence and gaining the confidence, and I'm loving everyone around her being inspired by her and like falling in line and really just feeling like, okay, maybe she is our prince. So thoroughly enjoying this. Cannot wait for Volume 5. I hope it comes out soon. I have not seen anything about Volume 5 coming out soon, so that makes me a little sad, but highly recommend Prince Freya if you have not picked it up. If you are a fan of Yona of the Dawn, you will be a fan of Prince Freya. I cannot recommend Prince Freya enough. The last 2 books that I read for the Manga Love Readathon were, I reread Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Therapy Games. Therapy Game is probably making its way, I'm going to put in top 6 BL. I got to reevaluate my top 5, but it may be top 5. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed these characters' dynamics. I thoroughly enjoyed this turning into from like a enemies to lovers, revenge plot to lovers situation. I thought that they balanced each other very well. I enjoyed their interactions. I enjoyed the way that, you know, as we started to get into the conflict and resolve the conflict, I thought it was a very real way to do it. And so this is a series that I highly recommend if you are a BL fan. It is explicit, so I don't know if I would try it for like your first BL, but I do think that this, like if you read BL, this has to be on your shelf. Like this has to be on your shelf. And it is the companion, and my BL is completely out of order currently. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But it is the spin-off companion to Secret XXX, which is somewhere, here it is, somewhere on my shelves. I am going to organize my shelves one of these days. Secret XXX. So it is the companion to this one-shot Secret XXX. And I am so excited because we are getting Therapy Game Restart in December, and I cannot wait. Like, I am super pumped for Therapy Game Restart to get more of this couple. So the second readathon that I participated in is at Ash and Her Books on Instagram, hosted a Sapphic Love readathon. And I was very excited about this. So let me show you. I'm getting into my bullet journaling. So here was my spread for the Manga Love readathon. I had all of the different books that I read, and I gave them their ratings. And then for the Sapphic Love readathon, I had my own separate Sapphic readathon spread. So I ended up reading 8 books for the Sapphic readathon, some of them digital and some of them in print. So first was the group book, which was Once Ghosted, Twice Shy. It is a novella. It was very interesting. It was very short. I enjoyed the character dynamics a little bit. I will say that I kind of prefer if it had been a little longer, because it kind of seemed really insta-lovey to me, and I am not an insta-love person. So I wasn't like super enjoying it, but I did like it for the most part. Next, we've got 30 days, 30 dates in 30 days. So this was my enemies to lovers prompt. 30 dates in 30 days was adorable. You've got your high, fast-paced lawyer who's like, oh, I'm getting close to partner and I'm getting older and I think she's turning 35 and she's like, and I want to settle down and I want to have the wife and the white picket fence and the kids and all of that. And so she decides to go on 30 dates in 30 days to try and see if she can find the woman of her dreams. It is enemies to lovers because she ends up getting into a fight with the bartender, and sparks fly from there. So I thought this was an absolutely adorable little story. I enjoyed their banter. It almost wasn't enemies to lovers, like it ended up turning into enemies to lovers because they ended up like having a good first kind of situation meeting, but then after that, sparks kind of fly, and then we get to what we really came for. No smut, not really smutty. So if you're looking for like smutty smut scenes, not many. There's some heavy petting. There's some, unbuttoning up the blouses, but not really the smuttiest of the smut. And then the last one that I read digitally was Bingo Love. And so Bingo Love was very interesting. The writing style, it's a graphic novel, but the writing style was a little weird for me, solely because like the story ended, and then after the story ended, we kept getting like expansions of the story, like it was scenes from the stories, but like more detailed scenes from the story. I don't know, it was very weird, because when it ended, it like ended, and I was like, oh, and then there was more, and then this is a volume 1, so there's more, and I don't know, it was cute, I enjoyed it, I thought it was a weird setup, but I liked it. Now, physically, for the Sapphic Readathon, I read Our Teachers Are Dating, Volume 1. So Our Teachers Are Dating, Volume 1 was uber sweet. Like, this was, like, super, super sweet tooth, super, super sweet. Probably would have given me a cavity. I've seen some for, like, Volumes 2 and 3, and it gets smutty. So I may hang on, because they were a little too adorable for me. And then I found out that it was like teen 13 plus, and I was like, oh, that explains why it's like so cute. But I guess they upped the rating because I think it's like the volume 3 cover. I was like, scandalous clutch pearls. So I may stick around with this one. I did find them cute, just a little too cute. I then read I Love You So Much I Hate You. Love You So Much I Hate You is a lady office workers. I love lady office workers. I love them in their suits, and I love them taking each other out of their suits. So the lady office workers, this is one where one of our characters, she's married, she's unhappy in her marriage, and she is having an affair with her coworker, who happens to technically be her subordinate. It's a very interesting story. I did enjoy what ended up being the ending and the two of them and how this kind of plays out. I love an office worker situation. I did appreciate that they did not seem to let their technically supervisor underling sort of relationship get in the way of their personal relationship, and then the personal relationship didn't affect that. So I really appreciated that, because you always end up with a weird power dynamic when you have like a boss and like a not boss situation, and I'm not necessarily here for those power dynamics, because you kind of get into some dubious consent. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was cute, and I think it ended up being, at first, during the middle, I wasn't super enjoying it, but it ended up being something that I did enjoy. I think I ended up giving it like 3 stars. I also read Scarlet Volume 1. Scarlet Volume 1 was a trip. I am getting more of this series. Like, we've got our person who has been turned into like a bloodthirsty monster after drinking this magical elixir. And then we have Finne, who I can't really figure out what kind of monster she is, but she wants to consume Iris. Like, hold on, wait. Flip it. So this is Finne, this is Iris. So Iris wants to consume Finne. I'm here for it. It was great. Iris allows Finne to feed off of her to keep her monster under control. And basically, whenever Finne finds the cure to this magical elixir, what it did to her, Iris intends to eat her. Like, that's the goal, that's the plan, that's what we're here, and there's sexual tension all up and throughout there, so, like, I'm a fan, here for it. We'll be getting Volume 2. I also read Syrup, Volume 1, which is an anthology. So, Syrup has, how many? Several. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About 14. It's got about 14 very tiny, because this is a small volume, so very tiny little comics. All of them are sapphic in nature, so it's an anthology. I believe volumes 2 and 3 have come out already, and I think I will pick those up too, because it was pretty cute. It's older teen, so some of them are smutty, some of them are not. But it was like cute little one-shots of couples' relationships. Last, for the Sapphic Readathon, I read Volume 1 of the Utna collection. So I believe that Volume 1 is the first 3 volumes. volumes. Let's see past all the beautiful color pictures. It's the first couple of volumes, and then I did not get a chance to read the second one. Hush, Haley Jane. So that's on my list to do. Revolutionary Girl Utena, I have loved since I saw the anime when I was studying in law school. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's such a cute dynamic between Utena and Anthe. And I love that Utena is here to be the prince and be her own prince. And it's such a good dynamic between those two, especially since Anthe needs saving. And Utena is here to do the saving. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here for you to do the saving. Yes, rescue her. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Such a great series. I can't wait to finish. It is on my list to finish soon. So outside of my readathons, I still read more books. So first up, digitally, I read Our Fake Marriage Volume 5. I am loving Our Fake Marriage. I love a fake relationship turned real relationship, and we've now gotten to the point where the fake relationship has turned into a real relationship. So I'm enjoying the dynamics. I'm enjoying the people that are meeting them, especially the ones that know the relationships are fake because they are trying to like test this relationship, and they're like, no, this is real now. And I'm like, yes, this is real now. So I am loving Our Fake Marriage. So cute. It's digital only. So if you are okay with reading your manga digitally, I personally am 100% fine reading it in omnibus form, single volume form, digitally, whatever. So if you enjoy reading your manga digitally, I would suggest picking it up. The other digital work that I read was The Crown of Rosamund. The Crown of Rosamund is your typical girl is a princess. There's a coup. We kill the parents. She's got to go into hiding, and then she's got to train and come back so she can take the palace back over. So it did not stray from any of your tropes. We are training. We are pretending to be a boy. We fall in love with a boy while we're pretending to be a boy. We take over the palace. We get back to being a queen. You know, it didn't stray from any tropes. Still gave it like a 3.5, 4 because it turned out well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed the dynamics and the character relationships. So even though it didn't stray from any tropes, still here for it. Still enjoyed it. So I read the first 3 volumes of Happy Marriage in the Manga Love Readathon. And because why not, I finished the series. So we read Volume 4. Volume 5. You can tell we started to get a little smutty. Volume 6. Volume 7. 8. 9. And the conclusion, Volume 10. So it is a 10-volume series. I have now finished the entire series. I would highly recommend this series. I do think that it may be my favorite Maki and Joji work. And because apparently I kept reading, I read Given Volume 5. So Given is absolutely adorable. I love Given. Come here, Haley Jane. And it is slowly becoming kind of one of my favorite non-smutty BLs. Love it so much. Then the book club, Be Too Weird, we read The Goddess Twins. And then for our NK Stanathon, we read The Killing Moon. So The Killing Moon is the beginning of the Dream Blood duology. It is pretty interesting. I ended up actually reading, even though I own the physical copy, I ended up doing audio only for this one because I had a road trip that I had to take to go pick some things up. And so I ended up doing audio only, finished it, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Still need to read the second of the duology, which is The Shadowed Sun. So I also have it on audiobook and in physical copy, so I'll be reading that soon. And last, but certainly not least, because it was my most anticipated read for February, Twittering Birds Never Fly, Volume 4. And it came with this limited edition, Distinct Flame, little short short story here. Twittering Birds Never Fly, I need, and I hope that this shows June manga, that we all need volumes 5 and 6. It's a 6-part series. I need volumes 5 and 6. I need to know how this goes, how this ends. I got the movie. I gotta have it. I thoroughly love this series. It is a dark series. Anything by Ko Yanida is extremely dark, but she does dark very well. And I think the dynamics between Yashiro and Domeki, given the separate and distinct traumas that they have suffered and how they are coming together to kind of experience that trauma and get through that trauma, is done very well. We left off on a cliffhanger that has me still clutching my pearls today. And I need volume 5. So that was a lot of books, a lot of reading. February was a good month. I enjoyed it. I do like it when I have like slow reading months, but then I also like, months like this where I got to read a lot of good things and I enjoyed most of everything that I read. So let me know in the comments, let Haley Jane and I know in the comments, what is a series that you would love to live in the world? So like, what is a series that if it was a real life series, you would live in the world? Like Sayuki, I could travel with the gang at Sayuki. I would love it. I'm not quite sure what my weapon would be because like they've got Son Goku's got his staff, Cho Haka has got like his energy power, Gojo has his scythe, and then of course our main priest, Love Sanzo, has his gun. So I'm not quite sure what I would have, maybe like a Yona bow and arrow or something like that, or like, ooh, daggers. Daggers. Yep. Gonna have to go with daggers. So I would love to live in the Sayuki world, battling with daggers. I would hide them in little patches all over the place and just throw them. So what world, it can be fictional, fantasy, it could be manga, books, movie, whatever. What world, if it was real, would you love to live in? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the standard YouTube things. And Haley Jane and I will see you next time. Bye.